Welcome to Recharge with Richardson. 5 minutes of hope and inspiration every Monday and Thursday. And now, here is today's episode. Well, hey, I'm really excited to be back with you for this amazing Monday. God's got something great in store for you today, so just relax in Him and let Him be in your life and let Him do His thing. You know, sometimes when He does His thing, we don't always understand it at first, and it doesn't make sense in the moment. So I'm telling you, just keep relaxing in Him and don't grab the wheel. Let Him drive. It will be okay. Now, my last time that I was with you, we talked about our social environment and how important that being with the right people is in impacting our lives. Because if we're with the wrong people, it rubs off on us and it messes us up. We're with the right people, it blesses us and helps us succeed. So today, we're going to be looking at our physical environment a little bit. We'll do that next time and as well. And you'll be amazed at how much stuff you can learn in this area, because again, we don't really often stop to think about it. And we can do so much to change our lives for the better. And so I hope it really excites you, because like me, I'm excited about it, and it gives you the same feeling of empowerment as we talk about this that it gives to me, because there's so much that we can do in our physical environment to live life to the full. And so I've called today's topic Shape Your Space. Shape your space. And this is what God says in Genesis chapter 1, 26 and 27 and 28. It's talking about the creation. It says, then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over the cattle and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. And this is the part I want you to get. He makes the earth, puts us in it, and he says, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves on the earth. So God created our world, our environment, and he created it with us in mind, and he put us in it, and he said, in essence, go out there, prosper, reproduce, enjoy the earth, do something with it, shape your environment. So how can we shape our environment to be a blessing in our lives and to give us that abundant life that we'd like to have? Well, I want to talk about how that relates to our five senses, and I'm just going to deal with a couple of them today. So our first sense is our main one, is the sense of sight, as you well know. And our eyes see a wealth of information every day. And get this, it's either healthy for our well-being or it's unhealthy for our well-being. Now, here's some interesting statistics. The typical US living space is filled with noise, with technology, with clutter, and without much nature. And by the way, if you haven't figured it out, these things are not good things. But you see, it doesn't have to be that way. We can change our space. We can shape it. And so here's some of what the studies reveal that clutter does for you, or does to you, I should say. It elevates your blood pressure. It gives you headaches and gastrointestinal distress, and it gives you depression. It gives you anxiety. So as you can imagine, this is not a good thing, is it? And so I really want you to consider what's going on here and to be thinking about it. Conversely, things like organization in your space, cleanliness, and order, they really promote peace, and they promote health and a decreased waste, decreased energy, and of course, better blood pressure, better emotional balance, and all those things. So this is the thing that we're thinking about here. And I want to just have you consider this some more. as we spend some time this morning. Consider the images that are coming into your amazing brain through TV, through movies, through your smart devices, what you're streaming, video games, books, whatever. Here's the question: are they positive and uplifting, or are they negative? Are they immoral? Are they violent? Are they occultic? You see, the medium does send a message, a very strong one. And for example, a study of teens playing violent video games showed several effects on their brains. And so I really want us to be aware of this. It showed that there was increased emotional arousal and decreased self-control. So what's that a recipe for? It's a recipe for trouble. It's a recipe for out of control behavior, for violence in return, rebellion, and all this other stuff. There's another study of TV news showed. So studying people who are watching the news on TV, it showed that watching 14 minutes, just 14 minutes of negative news increased anxiety and a sad mood. And here, get this, catastrophizing worries. What's catastrophizing worries? Well, it's filling your mind with thoughts of great and sudden personal disaster. Got a question for you. Is that how you want to live? With great and sudden, great and distressing thoughts of sudden personal disaster? I don't think so. So if that's what watching the news does to you, why watch the news? A person's metabolic rate is significantly lower when watching TV than when you're just normally relaxing without all that stuff. And why do I bring that up? Why does that matter? Because watching TV, your metabolic rate is lower. That's why people gain weight. And that's why they lose muscle mass there when they're sitting watching TV. As opposed to when you're just at rest doing nothing, that's much better for your body, that kind of rest. TV rest is not good for us. Now, here's another thing to think about. Colors. We see a lot of colors. The colors of nature are blue and green. And studies have shown that these colors are relaxing, and they show that it lowers anxiety, it lowers our pulse rate and our body temperature. Just those colors. Okay? So think about what can you do in your environment to have more blues and greens. It's going to be a blessing to you. Now, our other main sense of smell that I want to touch on today is the sense of sound, which also has a powerful effect on our well-being. When we have a lot of loud noise in our life, like always having the TV going in the background or something like that, it's not good. And music is a part of this too. There's some music that's good. We'll talk about that. But a lot of the modern music, it's just loud and it's noisy and it's metallic and it's harsh. That kind of stuff really is hard on us. And so it raises our stress hormones and it increases our blood pressure. But healing sounds what are healing sounds? Well, here are some examples. Loving words that we might speak to each other. Uplifting music, singing, sounds of nature, the sounds of nature, and silence. Most of us are afraid of silence, but silence is therapeutic. Silence is renewing for us. It's actually good to hear nothing. Could you stand that? Do you think you could stand silence for a while? See, things like the soothing coos of a morning dove, the enchanted chirping of crickets on a summer's eve. Cicadas, not so much. That just grates on you. But crickets, water tumbling over rocks in a lively brook, or the peaceful patter of rain on leafy trees. You see, nature is a symphony of sounds, and God is its conductor. And those things will be rejuvenating and refreshing and reviving. See, all these things will bless your life and make it more abundant and help you connect with God and with peacefulness better. So I have a question for you this morning. What changes can you make or do you need to make to your environment? What changes do you need to shape your space so that your mental and emotional health is better? Do you need to declutter? Do you need to stop the news? Do you need to listen to the sounds of nature, get some blues and greens around you, whatever it might be? Just take some time and actually shape your space. And remember, no matter what's going on in your life, God's got this and God's got you. Thank you for joining us for Recharge with Richardson. Don't forget to join us for our next episode. And until then, may God fill you with joy and peace and hope.